welcome to another teacher talk session tonight. Tonight we are going to have another different educator and from Turkey, and she is Gülsüm Şıvgın Baş, and she's English teacher and freelance teacher trainer. And by the way, it's going to be our 118th session tonight. Okay, when she comes here, we are going to start our live session with her. I'm really excited to have her here. So I think she's here. Let me accept her invitation. When she comes. Yes, I have accepted.
Hi.
There she is. Yes.
The
Hello.
one and only.
That's wonderful. Hello, Gülsüm Hocam. It's wonderful to see you.
Hi,
It's
good
great honor
evening,
to have
guys.
you.
Thank you. It's an honor for me to be
It's
here, trust me.
great. And I would like to say really thank you very much for accepting my invitation for Teacher Talk session. It's really great honor to have you here. I know that it's been really long time to convince you to join this session, but finally we made it.
I didn't need much convincing. I just needed to put my kids to bed.
I see. Okay, it's okay. That's why it takes too long to join
It
this. I
does,
see.
yes,
Okay,
unfortunately.
wonderful. And it's really nice to see you here. I'm sure that we are going to have a
Thank
very fruitful
you.
session with you. And I know you are very
Hopefully.
busy, so if you are ready, we can start.
Of course, anytime, with
Okay.
any
I
question
know.
you want.
Okay. I know about you, Gülsüm Hocam, but maybe
Mhm.
our watchers or the audience would like to know about you. So can you tell us about yourself, please, and a bit about your experiences too?
Of course. I've been an English teacher for 16 years.
Wow.
And out of those 16 years, I've worked in Maya College for 3 years. That was the beginning of my career. And now for the 13th year, I'm working in Gülsüm College in Izmir.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's an absolutely wonderful place. I'm a mother of two amazing kids. One is 9 year old and one is 4. What else can I say? I'm a proud member of INGED. As
Me
you know, INGED is the
too.
English, exactly, English Teachers Association. It brings every single English teacher around Turkey together. I've been a freelance teacher trainer for British Council, for Nat Geo, and for Oxford University Press. We've done trainings with
Wow.
them
Hmm.
for quite many years. Um, that's it, I guess.
That's it.
I've always
Okay.
wanted to be an English teacher.
It's wonderful. Thank you very much, Gülsüm Hocam.
Thank
So,
you.
Hocam, what was, or let's move to another question. What was or were, let's say, your turning point or points in your own education?
In my own education. Well, as a kid, I think I've always had the right side of my brain working all the time in school. I
Mm-hmm.
was never successful in maths or science, but English, art, music, I'm there. So the point where I decided to be an English teacher was this one lesson we had in 8th grade. And as you know, it's quite famous to be the Hababam of the school. You know, everybody's not listening to the teacher, they're bragging about it. So we had that kind of a class, and we had a friend, a student called Jakub. I will never forget his name.
No.
I'm still friends with him, I think, on Instagram. So if he's here, please forgive me. But even that boy was able to listen to our teacher because she was always telling us stories. Like she was always trying to teach English. We weren't in a private college or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was a middle school, you know, state school, and even in her lessons, like he would just sit down and listen with awe like this, and that was the reason why I decided to be an English teacher. I will never forget how she explained the phrase "It's raining cats and dogs" to us. She made this whole story about how it was in the Victorian times. All the cats and dogs would be hiding in the on the roofs, and when it started raining, of course, they would be jumping down, and that's where that phrase came from. And we were just in awe with her. I mean, she was an absolutely amazing teacher. I actually found her
Oh.
During the
Nice.
pandemic, during the pandemic, I found out her name, surname, and I called her and I said, "Hey, I'm an English teacher." She was so proud.
Ah, very nice. I'm sure
Yeah,
that she was so
she
happy.
actually lives quite close to me, apparently, but I just haven't had the chance to go and see her yet.
I see. Maybe
That
maybe in
was
the
one of the
future you have a
points.
chance to see her again.
Hopefully, hopefully. And
That's
then
great.
another turning point, I think this is what gave the direction to my career. In the last year of university education, you go on a workshop, you go on work experience,
Yeah.
and you go to a state school, you go to a high school or a middle school. So we had this teacher in Gazi University. He always said, if you want real work experience, come to me and I will send you to a college, to a private college. You will see the real teaching there. You're going to be so educated. This is going to be a great work experience for you. İskender hocam. Kulakları çınlasın. He gave this direction to my career. So I went to him. I said, Hojam, you were saying you would be sending us to the colleges. And I said, can you please send me to Gazi University's private college? He said, no, I'm going to send you to Maya. I was like, okay,
Nice.
whatever, just if you have got the connection, yes, I'll go there for free. I don't want any money. I don't want anything. It's free work experience.
Uh-huh.
So I went and I absolutely fell in love with the kids because at the beginning of when I entered university, I said, I'm definitely going to be an academician. I'm going to stay at the university. I don't want to deal with the children. I want to teach English, how to be an English teacher,
Yeah, of
But
course.
as soon as I stepped into the college world, I was like, yep, that's where I want to be. And it was amazing. I mean, the head of department in Maya, Afife Hocam, she left for a week. She was going on a trip somewhere. And she said, Gülsüm, can you please take 7th graders for a week? This was my first teaching experience. And
Nice.
I still remember the activities with the kids. So
Well,
yeah, those are the turning points in my
in
education and my
your
career.
education. I see. Thank you very much, Gülsüm
Yeah,
Hocam, for sharing with
welcome.
us. By the way,
Give
you
the
just
teacher a
made.
microphone. We will talk forever.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure we love talking. Really, we love talking. By the way, I think you just mentioned that in the math, I was really bad at about math. I think it's destiny of English teachers. Most of us, yeah,
Yes,
we are bad at in maths. Bad at really. I can't.
definitely.
Yeah.
Even
Anyway,
when I go shopping now, people will be like, "You did this, you did that. How much does that make?" I'm like, "I'm an English teacher. Don't ask me.
don't ask me how much that costs.
Don't
I
ask me."
really. Don't calculate anything. Okay, anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Gülsüm Hocam, I know that you have been teaching for a long time, and I'm sure that you have tried lots of methodologies and strategies, and maybe
Hmm.
techniques in your teaching, in your lessons. So probably you have a kind of a philosophy of
Hmm.
teaching. So what is it? What is your philosophy of teaching? Not easy, I know.
Don't kill the kids before you get out of the classroom. No, no. Of course, I mean, nobody is a perfect teacher. To be honest, to be imperfect is being the perfect teacher.
Hmm.
No one walks into the classroom every single day with 100% energy, and no one comes out of the classroom with 100% energy. If they say, they're lying. Because we have seen so many reels like teachers in September all looking cool, teachers in May.
Yeah.
But as a philosophy, I think the language learning or language teaching, it should be dealt with like it's your own mother tongue. Like,
Uh-huh.
how do you learn Turkish? How did you learn to speak? That's how we need to, what we need to focus on when we're teaching English. It was a very long time ago when the teacher entered and said, okay, today we are doing past tense. Come on, S plus verb plus these are the ones we're going to deal with. Subject, konu, past tense. How do you write it down in your notebook? That was such a long time ago. Now we're treating English learning, English teaching, as if we're teaching Turkish to the kids. And that's how it should be. We shouldn't be focused on, of course, we can bring into the classroom when we're focused on past tense. We can bring into the classroom activities that actually do focus on past
Hmm.
tense. But so many parents are coming and asking us, so when are you going to teach past tense to our children? We already are. I mean, do you ever stop when you're teaching Turkish, when you're talking to your child in Turkish? Do you say, I still haven't taught past tense to this kid. I can't say anything in past tense. No, we always do. We need to just throw them out there and let them learn.
Exactly. I see.
But I mean, in any way, teaching English is not just a normal lesson. It shouldn't be called a lesson. We're teaching culture, we're teaching science, we're teaching maths. I know I'm bad at maths,
but we're still trying.
Exactly, 2 plus 2, that's my level.
Yeah.
But
Same.
that's what they need to learn. 2 plus 2 equals 4. That's the thing that we're teaching is maths here. If the child is interested in maths, that's how they're going to learn English, through maths. We're teaching art in the classroom. If the child is interested in art, then the child is going to learn English through art. Science, teaching science, we're teaching biodegradable, degradable, nature, you know. And if those kids are interested in those kinds of things, that's how they're going to learn English. So the philosophy is treat it like you're teaching Turkish to your children.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Let me ask you another question about it. I know that you have been working at Gulsum College for a long time, and probably you are following a kind of a, strategy or technique at Gulsum College. So, what makes different Gulsum College language teaching than other schools? We know you are there. That's why. That's why it's different.
No. Apart from me, there are 2 or 3 more teachers who have been here as long as me, who have been engaged as long as me. But what makes it different is that philosophy that I was just talking about. Gülsum lets us express that philosophy in the school. It's not a school. It's not a school where it says you have to do this, you have to do that. These are the things that we have to follow. When you go into the lesson, you have to do this. Yes, every teacher has his or her own philosophy, but we all come together at one point. So every teacher is not going to enter the classroom the same way. Every teacher is not going to exit the classroom the same way. But what we're doing in the classroom, it always interacts. So, for example, like I've been teaching 4th grade for a long time. I've taught on other levels as well. But for a long time, 4th grade has been my area of expertise. In 4th grade, the kids have never heard me speak Turkish before. Wow. So, like the whole year, imagine. Even in 2nd grade, 1st grade, even in kindergarten, the kids do not hear their English teachers speak Turkish. Oh. In primary level, it's much easier to convince them that they should be speaking English because somehow they believe we don't know Turkish. But when it goes on to like 4th grade or above, we say, hey, my name is Gülsüm, surname is Şıvgın Baş. Of course, I can speak Turkish, but I'm your English teacher, so I'll be speaking English with you. If you don't understand, and if you're really, really stuck, you can say whatever you need to say to me in Turkish, but I will still answer you back in English. So exposure, exposure, exposure. That's what makes Gülsüm different, I think.
I understand. Thank you. Thank you very much,
like
Gülsüm Hocam.
I'm there.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let me ask you another question. Maybe if you don't want to give an answer exactly clearly, it's your choice. What was your favorite course book that you worked on it? And why? And what makes it different than other course books that you worked on? I know it's really dangerous question, but it's your choice. You can just give some little information about it, and if you don't want to give a name, you don't have to. But it's your choice. You are free to do it.
People who know me, they know the answer to this question already. I won't give a name, but like I said, people who know me, they really do know the answer to this question. But what makes this book so different is it's teaching life to the kids, not just English. It's not a course book. It's a natural book.
I see.
in one unit, it's teaching about technology. In the other unit, it's teaching about sea life. In the other unit, it's teaching about festivals around the world. Yes, these are all topics that all the course books may have, but this book, it handles it so well. You know which book I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, someone wrote a comment. That's why I believe she creates her own course book. That's why. That's why I laugh.
I do sometimes.
Nice.
I'm like, close your books, let's do this. But yeah, like when they like we said at the beginning, when the kid is learning science, we're learning English. When the kid is learning about technology, they're learning English. That's how they pick it up along the way. So
I see.
the book, although my answer nowadays has been like, the book is just a means of teaching English. It's not helping. The main material that we have is ourselves.
I see.
So a book
Mm-hmm.
is just one of the materials that we use to teach the English.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the main material. We're not supposed to go along with the book. We're not supposed to just follow every single thing that's on the book. That's not what makes a great teacher, because you know your classroom better than no one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the book
Exactly.
has been written very well, very nicely designed, but if it's not going to work in that classroom, then what are you going to do? You need to change it.
Change
So
it, definitely.
it's just one of the materials that we use. No matter how great the book is, it's still up to the teacher.
I see. Yeah, exactly. We are just the books are just a guide, I think.
Yes.
I see. Okay, thank you very much, Hocam. So
You're
let's move to
welcome.
another question. I know that you have attended, or you have, the provide lots of sessions and like training sessions, presentations, and etc. And what was or were the most interesting situation that you faced in your sessions?
In my sessions, I always start by saying, I'm not up here because I know better than you or because I'm a better teacher than you. I'm just crazy and brave enough to be up here.
Nice.
That's all. Because I've been teaching for 16 years. I've been a teacher trainer for 16 years. So from the first year of my teaching, all I did was show bravery and that I want to be up on stage.
Uh-huh.
I always wanted to be an actress but never achieved it, so now I can. Like, I remember very specifically how I started teacher training for British Council. So after we started working in Maya College, I became a member of INGED, and of course Aydan Hoca was my teacher in Gazi University. So immediately we became a board member. So imagine a new, fresh graduate student is a board member of INGED. And one meeting, Aydan Hoca said, guys, British Council is asking us to provide them with a teacher who is going to just carry out the courses of the British Council. I mean, it wasn't expected for me to create my own courses. I was just expected to follow the British Council's teaching grounds. So I was like, Hocam, I'll do it. And she was like, are you sure? I was like, yes, Hocam, why not? I'm just crazy enough to be out there. So I got all the materials from British Council, and of course I had been a teacher for like a year at least. So I know what to do in the classroom, and I was teaching first graders as well. In my first year of teaching, I was teaching first graders, and British Council said, we want you to give out the very young learners course. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. So they had all the PowerPoints ready, but they said you can put anything else you want on the PowerPoints. So I would take the PowerPoint, I'd work on it for a week, and then I was like, oh, I did this activity in the class, so I should add this one here so I can tell the participants. And that's how we started. But one of the most interesting situations was when I was doing my presentation in Ankara University. So one of the first prehistory ELTs of Ankara University, we were just brave enough to say, yes, we want to do a session. And I remember it so well. Our session was called Louder Than Words. So how would you present vocabulary to the students? That's what we wanted to do a presentation
Wow.
about. It was me and this colleague. We said, let's do it together, let's join forces. So we went up there and we were watching everyone else, of course, because they're all plenary sessions. And you're going up in front of these 300 people and
Wow.
presenting your presentation. And we have these worksheets ready. We have got, interactive workshop. It's going to be great. But before us, all these people are going up there, really professional. These are the facts we have done. These are the studies we have done. These are the numbers that came up. So we started panicking. We were like, because that's not what we want to do. We want to talk about what we can do in the classroom with students.
Exactly.
So anyway, it was our turn. And the whole, the founders of Ankara University ELT and everybody is there. So with our dry mouths, with shaking hands, we went up. We talked about what is louder than words. How can we present vocabulary to the students? What can we do? By the time we were walking down, everybody was like, that was great. That was wonderful. And this is just our second year of teaching, and everyone was like, even the head of Ankara University came and said, those were some good pointers there, kids. Well done.
Yeah,
I'm so proud
perfect.
of you. So that was one of the most interesting things
It's
that happened,
great.
how these people were so humbled and how they humbled us, to be honest,
They were lucky
for
that you
that.
were there. Because of you, they had a chance to watch an amazing presentation.
But I wouldn't say amazing, but because it was funny and it was different, everybody was awakened all of a sudden. They were like, oh, let's see what they're saying.
They had
Because
fun then.
otherwise, at university, you know how things are at university. We did this study with 100 people. These were the results. Okay, so, and what
Okay,
happened?
great. By the way, thank you very much for sharing Gülsüm Hocam this moment with us. Really nice
Yeah,
moment. I really like it.
thank you.
Okay, so let's move to another question. Would you like to say anything else, or that's all?
No, that's all.
All right. So I know as we teachers and an English, and actually most of the teachers think the same, that the routines are really important in our classes. When we go into the classrooms, definitely we should have a routines that the students, they need to realize it's the things that we are going to do with them. So what are the benefits of having routines in language classes? Do you have? And if you have, can you give us some examples of your routines?
Uh,
Okay.
are you
I
sure this
hope
session is just for 1 hour?
just maybe one if you have, or
One or two. Well, first of all, I think routines make the students feel safe. Instead of focusing on, oh, what language am I going, how am I going to talk now? What am I going to say in English? Instead of focusing on that, now the students have got a chance to focus on what they already know. And they don't have to worry so much about what's going to happen next because they already know. And if they're not worried, then they can focus on what kind of language they're going to use much better. So even the way you enter the classroom, the way you start your lesson, the way you end your lesson. Towards the end of summer, it's like, break time, guys, let's go. You're running out of the classroom before the kids. But having a routine, I think it helps them be safe. I do have a routine. For example, where we're doing a reading activity. First, I will let the students read the paragraph, and I will say, when you're reading, if there's a word or a phrase you don't understand, underline it or circle it. Just give them 2 minutes or 5 minutes, however long it takes, for them to read the paragraph. And then we will do something like this. Okay, now I'm going to read the paragraph, and you tell me when you hear the word that you don't understand, you shout, stop, Miss Shıvgın. And that helps. And then we go along with the word. What was it? What does it mean? How do we use it? We explain it, and then we continue.
Nice.
Sometimes I would let the students read. For example, I say, okay, Volkan Iner, you're going to read the paragraph, and everybody is going to say, when they hear the word that they don't understand, they will say, stop, Mr. Iner. And the kids are having a laugh with this because they're like, oh, they just called me Mr. and Mrs.
It's nice. Nice
Nowadays,
routine.
I changed this routine, and now the children are saying, not stop, Miss Shivgan. They're shouting, I love you, Miss Shivgan. And I'm like, I
Yeah, that's
love you
nice.
too. Which word don't you know? Tell me and I'll explain.
It's
So
nice,
it's
nice
great.
routine.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ooh,
wonderful.
another
Thank you.
routine I have, I really like using these ones. I call them attention getters. Like when the kids are doing an activity, it's a group activity, they're walking around, they're talking to each other, they're trying to fill in a paragraph maybe, or they're trying to do a chart, maybe a
Uh-huh.
questionnaire. And I say, if I want you to stop, guys, I will say macaroni and cheese, and the students will say, everybody freeze, and then everybody freezes. Instead
Nice.
of shouting to the kids, saying like, hey, come on, time's up, let's stop, let's sit down. Instead of that, this is so much fun, more fun.
Definitely.
They
You
like it.
grab their attention. It's really
Exactly.
nice. And also, what I use it, I always use when I enter the class, kind of energizer. I always say to them, ready to rock, and they shout at me, ready to roll,
Oh,
and everybody
that's
three
cute.
times. Yeah, we do it three times, and all the class, if they become suddenly energized, and they say,
Yes.
"Oh, English classes, yeah, something like that. This is fantastic," and then of course you become very energized by the help of the
Exactly.
students, of course. Anyway,
Exactly.
this is just
But
one
some
routine that
classes
I
they
have.
don't need that energizing, I
Yeah.
think. Some classes they need the
But yeah,
calm. So it's like, oh, come on, chill.
yeah, it's definitely exact. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Gülsüm
You're
Hocam.
welcome.
So let's move to, how is it going? So far, so good?
Yes, wonderful. I'm really enjoying it. I should have done this before.
By the way, Aydan Hoca is here, Gülsüm Hocam. She
Yeah,
is watching us.
Aydın
Yes,
hocam,
and she
hi.
says,
We've been
she
chatting
said,
about you.
yeah, Gülsüm Hocam always comes up with great ideas for activities. She says, she just comment here. Nice.
Yeah, thank you, hocam. It's all because of you. You know this.
Thank you. And we become really happy to see Aydan Hoca in our sessions when she comes. It's
Yeah.
really great to see her.
She's
Okay,
wonderful.
so I know.
Hocam,
Let's
I
move to
already
another.
talked about Inged.
Yeah, yeah. We talked, Hocam. Really. Okay, so move to another question. So I
Yes,
know
go
that
ahead.
we know that actually the 21st century skills are really important in our classes,
Hmm.
as we know that. And there are just like creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and what was that? Another one. Oh, I forgot. What was it?
Communication.
Communication. And there are two more, I think, but it's like
So,
SDGs.
they've brought it up to 12. Are you kidding? What two
Yeah, there
more?
are
Social
no more.
skills, flexibility,
Yeah,
leadership.
exactly.
What else
SDG,
was it?
something like this.
Technology
Yeah,
literacy.
social and emotional. There are lots of things.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there are lots of, and I think we have to teach them to our kids. So
Hmm.
why do we have to teach the 21st century skills in our classrooms? And another question is how successful we are about it. According to your observation, how do you see it? Can we manage it?
I think we are only as successful as the parents of the children.
Mm-hmm.
Because these 21st century skills we're talking about, we need to start teaching them at home instead
Yeah.
of instead of leaving it to the teachers to teach. Like, what is it? Critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication. These are all the things that should start at home and should continue
That's cool. Yeah.
in school by the English teachers, but first by the classroom teachers in Turkish, because these are skills that require a high language proficiency. And like with primary school students, of course, you can show them what happens when you're doing critical thinking, what happens when you're collaborating, what happens when you let your creativity go on. But if you are not able to explain these untangible things to the students, then they're
Mhm.
just going to, oh, we did a fun activity. Good. I'm glad you had fun, but here is the main message of it. So yes, we can do that in the classrooms, but these are the things that should start at home, or they should start with the mother language that the
I
kid
see.
has been learning.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, we can take along, the English teachers can take along, because we have got such a big opportunity in our hands. Like, sometimes a Turkish teacher or a maths teacher will come up with something so amazing. They will say like, oh, I have discovered something called four corners. And we're like, oh, okay, we're listening. What's that? So first a student goes over there, and then one of them goes over here, and then the ones in the middle, they decide which group they belong, and they go to that. And we're like, we've been doing that for 20 years.
We have already done. We have already tried
Exactly.
most of them.
Or they will say something like, oh, I have discovered called running dictation.
Yeah.
Okay. So critical teaching, critical thinking, 21st century skills, yes, it falls greatly on us as the English teachers, but that's why we should be collaborating with we should be doing the 21st century skills ourselves. Collaborate with the classroom teachers, collaborate with the Turkish teachers, let them teach it first, and then we will, as English teachers, expose the kids to those critical thinking skills, to the creativity, to the collaboration, media literacy, like social skills. Like, I don't believe if anyone says, we're a great school, we teach social skills. Of course you will teach social skills. You're a social area. You don't actually teach. The kid actually learns already.
Definitely. Exactly. I totally agree with you, Gülsüm hocam. Okay. So thank you. Thank you very much.
So,
and
I think we have only been like how successful we were about it. I think we have only been as successful as the parents have let us.
I see. Good point, really. Thank you. Thank you, hocam.
You're welcome.
So let's move to another question. I would like to ask you another thing. I think you said you have two kids. If I'm not wrong, you are trying to raise them as a bilingual.
Yes,
is it true?
They are bilingual, yes.
Okay, perfect. So how do you feel about raising bilingual children? What is it really hard, or is it something easy?
It's very hard on the mother, because sometimes you just want to just squeeze them, or say something in Turkish. But if you start speaking Turkish with them, everything is going to change. So let me start from the beginning. The first hurdle that you have to pass is the fact that you are speaking English with your baby, who doesn't understand anything. It just goes Google Gaga, and the people around you. That's the first hurdle, because people are going to judge you and say, "It's just a baby. Why are you speaking English with the baby? Are you trying to show off that you can speak English to us?" All the,
Yes, I do.
And I'm like, of course, you're so important to me. I need you to know that I can speak good English. Or when you take your kid to the park, or when you take them shopping, like, people are saying, no, don't speak English. And I'm like, why? Because I want to teach my kid how to do shopping in English, how to play in the park in English. That's the best place for me to teach that language. What am I going to do? Sit at home and show a flashcard of a slide and go, this is a slide? No, that's not how you teach a language. You take the kid to the park and you say, yeah, go up those stairs and come down the slide. I had so many people coming up to me and saying, where do you live? I'm like, I live here. Hey, why do you speak English? I'm an English teacher. So I'm trying to teach the kids English at the same time. Or they're saying things like, but you should be a proud Turkish mother. You should speak always Turkish with the kids. Don't let them learn English. And I'm like, they will learn Turkish when they go to school, or they will learn Turkish with their grandma, with their grandpa, or with their dad, actually. Because at home, in our house, I'm the one who speaks English all the time. My husband is the one who speaks Turkish all the time. So that's the first hurdle. The people around you, they will always judge. They will always judge and say something that is not up to their own mind,
I see.
The second hurdle comes when, like I said, like some of these words that they don't have the equivalent of in Turkish, that you want to say canım, aşkım, those kinds of things. You don't say, oh, my darling, oh, hello, my love. Instead of those things, I decided, what's the harm in calling my kid aşkım and then continuing in English? There's no harm. So it's kind of like all those cute words or some of the words that they don't have, that they don't give you the feeling of being
I
a mother
see.
in English, you know, because I'm not a native English speaker. I learned English when I went to England. I'm not a native English speaker, but my kids are becoming natives now, or native-like, let's say. They're not natives, but they're becoming native-like. Like right now, my daughter is 9 years old. She's in third grade. She just finished third grade. And whatever a 9-year-old girl needs to speak with her mother, she speaks it in English with me. And if she has anything that
Wonderful.
she wants to say it in Turkish, she's like, "Mom, what is this in English? What's that?" Like, for example, we have not translated the word dad. I don't say, "Go and ask your dad." I said, "Go and ask Baba. His name is Baba." So those are the kind of things that you have to pass. The third, the most important thing that you have to like go over is the fact that they will start to speak later.
I see. Mm-hmm.
So a normal child will speak at what, 1.5 or 2 years old. If they're bilingual or if they're learning more than two languages, they'll start speaking around 2.5, 3. They will make their first sentence around there.
I see.
So as a mother, you're like, everybody's kid is talking, mine isn't. Oh no,
Mine is not.
mine isn't. So you can never turn off that Turkish motherboard, you know. But
It
yeah,
takes time.
it's hard. It takes time. You have to be brave. You have to be strong. You have to be persistent if you want them to realize what's going on. Because like right now, my 4-year-old son, he will turn to me. He will say something in English, and then he will turn to his dad, and he will say the same thing in English.
I see. I
So
understand. Thank you very much for the
it's hard.
information. Really, it's really
And
hard.
one more thing, like this is a question that people have been asking me a lot. Like, I don't think my English is good enough. Should I still speak English with the kid? And well, why not? Whose English do you think is perfect? I mean, have you ever heard a Scottish person speak? Have you ever heard an Indian person speak English? They don't care about it. Why do we as Turkish people, why do we as Turks are so afraid of our own English? I mean, just speak. Instead of black, say black. No problem. The kid will pick it up along the way.
Definitely. And Aydan Hocam says, by the way, research says there is no delay for bilingual kids.
Must have been
Okay.
my kidden hocam.
And another one says, my little son rejects to speak in English. He understands, translates, but never uses. Yeah.
I believe the time will come, you know. You just be persistent and just keep speaking English. Let him speak Turkish if he wants to, or whatever his native tongue is. But be persistent. That's the key.
I see. Thank you. Thank you very much, Hocam. So
You're
let me
welcome.
ask you another questions to you. And another question that I would like to ask about you, the Chatgpt. Yeah, this is really popular, and everybody, I think probably love it, how to use it, and they love Chatgpt because they think that it saves life, it saves time, really, and more things. And what do you think about it? What do you think about Chatgpt and the effects on language learning?
I've never used ChatGPT, but as far as I understand, it's an AI software
Yeah, AI.
that helps you practice speaking, right? So what happened to our social skills? What happened to our 21st century skills? I knew we were trying to teach them. And why are we coming up with an AI software that lets us sit in our own little office by ourselves, trying to communicate, trying to collaborate, trying to do critical thinking skills with an AI software? Of course, it could be helpful in some cases. Some people could love it, but as far as I'm concerned, it's useless. I mean,
Okay, I got it.
if you want to speak, go out there, find some people to speak, you know? If you want to, like, there are so many social groups. If you're living in one of the big cities, or maybe in the small cities, if you search for it, you will find it. Ask an English teacher to sit down and have a cup of coffee with you. Why? I mean, be brave. I know in Turkey we're so afraid of being brave because, what will the other person think? I can't ask a stranger to sit down and have a chat with me, or I can't join a book club. No, no, no. I can't be out at late night time. But why are we so afraid? Like when I was at university, I was in Ankara, and I just went up to this. What do you call those courses? Dershane, and knocked on the door, and I said, I want to teach English. Is this place teaching English? Can I just come and sit down in your cafe, or go into your lessons? Be brave, go in there and try to get the most out of it.
I see. Okay, I got it. And by the way, Nilgün Hocam says ChatGPT does not aim at speaking, but it's much like a large language model. It's kind of anyway.
Like I said, I've never used ChatGPT, and I really don't know much about it. But if it's just an AI, if it's just a software where you sit down and try to speak, then why do something artificial when you can have something natural?
I see. I got it. Anyway, thank you very much for the the answer that you give, Gülsüm Hocam. And let's move to another questions. The professional development. It's really important for English teachers, especially for all teachers. It's really important. So, what do you think? The teachers should do for their professional development? What do you suggest them?
Well, first of all, join Teacher Talks every Monday at 9.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Not because every single person who joins here is a great teacher. I've said this at the beginning as well. The only reason I'm here, or the only reason I can give a workshop, is because I'm crazy and brave enough to be out there. Not because I'm better than anyone, or not because I'm the best teacher in the world. But it's professional development. You go and you make connections with other teachers. That's how you develop yourself, or take active part in organizations like ISTA. Have you ever heard what ISTA is? It's one of my passions. It's International Schools of Theatre Association, and they are this absolutely wonderful group of people who give ISTA festivals, and festivals that have got theater involved in it, active drama involved in it. So with those people you can develop your professionalism, or take part in organizations like DI, Destination Imagination. Just go and be a part of it. Try to find out what it is. World Scholars Cup, JMUN. There are so many organizations. INGED on top of all of this.
Of course. INGED, don't forget it. It's really important.
Never. I mean, if you follow the INGED website, it gives out information. Suzan Hocam, sağ olsun. It gives out information from about all the festivals or ELTs that are happening around the world. I mean, you have no idea how many times I went, oh, this is a country I can go to because I have got a green passport. I should go there. So professional development is totally up to you. Just be brave and try to be a part of something.
And there are comments by the way. Say INGED now, or Aydan Hoca may kill you. And Gülsüm Hocam, you broke my heart.
Where's my INGED badge?
Yeah,
where's
definitely.
My INGED badge?
That's really important, by the way. We love INGED, and the Friday sessions.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so let's move to another question. Thank you very much. So,
you're welcome.
Gülsüm Hocam, reading really important, the part important in language learning, and especially for teaching too. So with the new generation, it's really the heart to make them read, or to give the idea of the reading, like how should they read, and why should they read. That's really important. So, and how should, as a teacher actually, how should we encourage reading to the new generation? It's really difficult for most of the teachers, I think, because they don't want to read. They want to do different things. So what is your suggestions about it?
Actually, it's not that the students, they don't want to read. It's they don't want to read the things that we give them. But throw an anime book in front of them right now, they will swallow it up, you know. Or give out something that they really enjoy doing, they will do it. Nowadays, I mean, the new generation is very they get bored from a page because they want to be caught up, because we have exposed them so much to the technology, like they can't stand it. Like they're refreshing the page and they're like, it has to come now, it has to do it now. They can't wait, they can't even wait for 5 seconds. So how do we expect them to sit down and read for like 20 minutes? But in my opinion, the digital reading platforms, yes, they are wonderful for some, but they should not be forced upon everybody. Because first of all, we're saying to the parents, don't give too much screen time to your children, you know, you have to limit them. If they're under this age, only 1 hour. If they're above this age, only 2 hours a day. And then we as teachers say, digital books, read digital books. And what happened to the screen time? Doesn't that count as screen time? Of course it does. It's great for some of the students, because some students, they love learning. They will devour everything you give them and anything, and they want more. Like you say, there's a digital platform, they're already on it before they go home, on their phones, on the school bus, you know, they already started researching about it because they love technology, they love this, they love that. But for some students, like one of the selling points was of one of these digital platforms was that it looks just like Minecraft. It looks just like one of the popular games the kids are playing. They don't want just like, they want that game because they're having fun playing that game. So we can't, I don't think we should be forcing digital reading, but the only way we can encourage something on any student is by being an example yourself. Like if you don't go into the classroom and say, guys, this is 10 minutes, it's reading time, but you're sitting down there looking at your phone, that's not going to work, is it?
Yeah.
No, get your book out. Come on, this page, we're reading. And then you're there on your phone. I do have digital books in my library, so sometimes when the kids are reading, I will say, look, I'm reading my digital library. I'm on my Kindle, I swear. I'm not on Instagram. But it's always nice to have that book in your hand, you know. That's what we need to encourage. Like, if the parents are asking, what should we do? How can we make them read? Will you buy the books? The kids are not going to go out there and buy the books on their own. And
exactly.
Unfortunately, in Turkey, we don't have the opportunity to get in touch with real books. It's quite hard. You have to go through so many hurdles, and it can be quite expensive. If you're looking for a real book that has been written for a 3rd grade, for a 4th grade, you won't be able to find it very easily. So that's one of the things I think we as a community maybe need to encourage. But then as a community, we don't have that passion for reading, do we? I mean, in England or in any of the European cities, every single neighborhood has got a library. In every single neighborhood, we have got BIM. Yeah,
I got it. But
shopping.
But I just wanted to ask you something. Or do you think that like having the hard copies in your hand, that feels different than the digital? Is it?
Definitely.
Exactly. It's like when you read the hard copies in your hand. For example, if you take any book here and try to read it,
every respectable teacher has to have this background.
Yeah, exactly. Here you look at it lots of, and when you get the hard copies in your hand, it feels different than having some kind of a Kindle or the reading from something from the computer screen is much more different. The feeling is different.
I think the feeling is different for us old people.
I see, I got it. But we are not old, come on.
No, but for people who started reading with a book, yes, we miss that. I'm not a book person myself. People who know me, they know me. I'm not a book person. I mean, instead of a book, I will take the movie any day. But after the movie, I will definitely go back to the book and read it because I want to know what's different in the movie and what's different in the book. Like the Harry Potter series, I've read them on my Kindle, and then I was like, yes, now I can watch the movie again and again and again. And then when you watch the movie, you're like, but this is different than the book. How come? So that's where you're like awakened and say, okay, the book is maybe so much better because you're creating the whole scenario in your own head. But I mean, coming back to how we encourage reading is definitely by setting an example. Like, I'm not saying I'm the best mom or I'm not trying to brag about it, but this is what I do with my kids. So we come from school around 4:30, 5, and then they have got time until 6 p.m. to do whatever they like. They can play on the tablet, they can watch YouTube videos, whatever they want. And then from 6 p.m. on to 7 a.m., which is the period where I cook and be in the kitchen, they've got their homework to do. So we set an alarm on my phone. At 6 p.m. the alarm goes off, and then everybody knows what they need to do. It's my cooking time. It's their doing homework time. And then at around 7, we sit down for dinner. Of course, this is not the routine for every single day, but this is how it goes usually. And then after we have dinner, it's around 7:30. Again, until 8 p.m., they have got their own time. They can do whatever they like. And then 8 p.m., it's technology off. So any kind of phone, any kind of tablets, any kind of TV. But again, I'm saying we can't do this every day because some of the days I'm like, oh, just go watch something. Just, leave me alone for 5 more minutes, please. But most of the times, like 5 days out of 7, we have got this routine, and it's 8 p.m., it's reading time, and then they're off to bed by 9. So if you don't encourage the kids to do this, I don't think any kid will get up and say, hey, Mom, you never tell me to read a book, but I think I'll go and read a book. Most of the time, it doesn't work like that. At the beginning, anyway, it doesn't, because the kids, they have to see it by example, and then they will, say, oh, I didn't finish that book. Let me go and finish it.
They need after a role model.
A couple of exactly after a couple of years, that settles down.
Thank you very much, Gülsüm hocam. Just by the way, time flies. Just a couple questions left. Perfect. Really, let's move to the interesting questions now. So let's move to do it. How do you see yourself in 10 years? Will you still be a teacher or try another job?
I think I'll be a teacher until the day I die.
Because destiny of us, like
exactly. To be honest, Volkan, teaching is not a job. It's a personality. If you have got the personality of a teacher, you can do this job. Like you're a teacher everywhere. I mean, no one can stop you. It's kind of dangerous. But if somebody is, throwing out a package of cigarettes out of their car, I'll pick it up and throw it back into the car in their face because, I'm a teacher. I'm not just teaching English, 21st century skills. Come on, man.
Yes,
social
exactly.
skills. Do not put trash on the ground, Teaching is like I say, it's a personality. We just happen to do it in school.
Definitely.
More often than other places. Like if people are not queuing up in the shopping centers, we will say, hello, I'm in the queue. Why do you think I'm waiting here? We're trying to educate the community. We just happen to do it by teaching English in school.
Exactly.
But I do have other hobbies. I love decorating cakes. I love making sugar cookies.
I'm following this really. You are doing great job, by the way. What's the name of the page? Do you have a special page?
Are you sure it's not going to be advertising?
No. You can say it. Not a problem.
No, of course. It's Cookies and Fun. It's my other account on Instagram. And it's a hobby of mine. It helps me relax, although it takes like many hours sometimes. It really gives me energy when I do that hobby of mine. Also, another hobby is like I actually studied to become a travel agency when I was in England in high school. I studied travel and tourism. That was one of my
Really?
dreams, to become a tour
Oh,
rep.
nice. It's nice.
But
It's really.
yeah, exactly. But you know, being in Turkey, being a woman, they will, let's not say they won't let you, but they will be like, oh no, you're going to get married, you're going to have children, you need to settle down. You can't be traveling to Gaziantep. You can't have Karadeniz turları. That's
No
not
way.
possible.
Mm.
No, no, no, no. Ah, teyzeler. So
Okay.
yeah, I did choose the path to become an English teacher, and I love teaching. I love teaching to anything to anyone. You know, like I said, in the shopping center, I will teach, no problem. But or when I'm shopping, I can't stop myself. Like if I'm buying a toy for my kids, I'm like, how can I use this in the classroom later? So you're always thinking towards that. But yeah, so I've got baking, I've got festival planning. That's another
Oh,
hobby of mine.
perfect.
It's becoming. So yeah, maybe when I retire, I will go into those fields. I don't know.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Gülsüm hocam.
You're
Okay, so
welcome.
let's move to another question. This is really interesting one. If you could have one superpower to use in the classroom, what would it be and how would it help? I'm sure that you have something interesting.
Superpower. I've got the superpower of the eyebrow. Like when I do this,
Ah.
everybody seems to go quiet. No, I'm joking. I don't scare the kids usually. I would love to freeze time.
Really?
Yes,
Ah,
definitely.
exactly.
Like in the classroom, I would love to freeze time. First one, if I'm going to be very ideological about this, first one is to like stop the time and really like go and help that one kid who really needs the help, while the others don't waste that time. And then like unfreeze it and say, yes, now the kid gets it, let's continue. Now I have helped this one, let's continue with everybody else. But if I'm not being so ideological, I'll freeze the time, go to the teacher's room, get myself a cup of coffee, and then come back.
That's nice, nice superpower, really,
So
exactly.
yes,
So you don't
freezing
waste
time
your
would be nice.
time. Perfect. Okay, thank you. By the way, just two questions left, Gülsüm hocam.
Yes,
So
I can be
okay, let
here
me
till
ask you the
morning, no problem.
Of course, the kids are sleeping, that's why
The
you
kids are
can say that.
sleeping, husband is at work.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Let's think that we finish the interview and you step outside the
Uh-huh.
house and find a lottery ticket that ends up winning $10 million. What would you do?
Ooh. 10 million or
No, no, no, 10,
118 million?
10, 10 million, 10 million.
If I had 10 million, well, the first thing I would do would be to call the principal of the school and say, may I please have a year off? Unpaid, no problem. In fact, I can pay you. Just give me a year off, and then I'll go and travel the world.
Perfect,
10
really.
million. Yes, just spend
Yeah.
all of it. Don't leave a dime. And then when I come back to the real life, go back to teaching, you know.
Exactly. It's really nice. Someone has a comment here. Buy us a car. They ask a car from you.
Send me IBAN hocam.
Yeah. But I think they need to wait until you have the $10 million, by the way.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But call me. Follow me on Instagram. I'll tell you when I have the $10 million.
Million
I'll
dollars.
announce it from there.
Okay, perfect. And by the way, yes, thank you. And the last question of the session,
Yes.
the most difficult one. Are you ready for it?
Ay, hadi bakalım. Yes.
Okay, perfect. What is your motto?
The motto for what?
I don't know.
For like
For life
for
or for education?
life?
Yes.
Well, if you're talking about friendships or for life, for like communication between other people, your
Uh-huh.
relationships, I think I would have to say never talk behind anybody's back.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my motto. Like if you are gossiping about somebody with somebody else, make sure you go and tell that other person as well. If you're not brave enough to say it, don't even gossip.
That's
Like, or
nice.
if you want a solution out of something, instead of going to the wrong people and just chatting about it, talking about it, go to the right people. If you're not brave enough, then just sit your ass down and,
Down and stop
don't
talking.
talk.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, you
exactly.
should, you
Just
should, you
keep
should.
quiet.
I don't like it. I don't like talking about people's back, talking behind people's back.
I see.
And for teaching, I don't know if this is like a usual motto that people would have, but don't let anybody get between you and the students.
Yeah, that's important point. Good one.
For example, like the mother of the student will make a comment about your homework, or how they will come and try to teach you how to be a teacher, and you get irritated by that parent, Don't go back. I'm not saying I can do this 100%. Nobody's perfect. But don't go back to the classroom and look at that student and see the mother or the father. Just, take the student as they are. Don't let anyone get between you and the kids. Don't forget they're just kids.
I
Sometimes I
see.
forget. And then I have to remind myself, hey, come on, Miss Shivgun. They're just kids. They don't know. Like, nowadays, I think one of the most important things we are missing, I think this would be all around Turkey, is respect for the teachers, right?
Yeah.
Like, remember how we were. I've never seen in my life a teacher's lounge, a teacher's room. I've never seen it. Whenever we saw our teachers, we would just be like, oh, am I looking all right? Is everything good? My nails, my shoes, is everything fine? We would panic. But nowadays, the kids, they will bump into you in the corridor and they just walk straight away. But
Exactly.
sometimes we're like, hey, what are you doing? Excuse me. But then sometimes I'm like, remember that he's just a kid or she is just a kid and they don't know what they're doing wrong. So instead of just scolding them and going off and saying, hey, you know what? This is what you need to do. This is how you should be walking. And then because you're not stuck scolding them, they're so used to people saying, hey, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. They take a step back and they're like, oh, okay. They'll do it again the next day. That's
Exactly,
not the
they will do
perfect
it.
solution. They'll do it again the next day. But then, that's how they're going to learn, one by one. So
Anyway,
don't
by the way,
forget, they're kids. Don't let anyone get between you and your kids.
okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Gülsüm Hocam.
Thank
All
you.
right. So by the way, that's all my questions, Gülsüm Hocam. And we before ending our live sessions, would you like to say anything else or add anything else?
I want to ask you a
Oh,
question. Mm.
please
Plot
don't ask
twist.
me.
Do you have any footage of the videos that we had from Dubbing Fest?
I think I
You are
have.
my arch nemesis because of that. You know this. So for the people who don't know, let me just explain. Let me just take the mic. So how long ago was it? I think about 5-6 years ago, right? It must
More,
have been.
yeah, not more than it's
It
definitely
was
five.
it was definitely before the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. Six definitely. Things.
It must have been. Must have been. So what happened was Volkan Hocam, he came and he took part with his students in a dubbing fest. And in that dubbing fest, we thought we will have a lip sync competition among the
Yeah.
teachers. And I was lip syncing to LP's song. And Volkan Hocam, what was the song you did? Do you remember
Sia,
the song?
Sia. I did the Sia cheap thrills. Cheap thrills. I
Yeah,
did the cheap thrills.
thrills. And you won, Hocam, yeah, you won. I was so
I still have my
devastated.
medal somewhere. I still keep it here. Really, exactly.
Really?
I still there. I have a box here, and also all my medals are in there. And but I still have it here.
But that's what I love about you, Hocam. Yeah, your energy for life, your energy for teaching, it seems endless. I know it's not endless, as we've been saying from the beginning of this session. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is the perfect teacher, but we try to be.
We are trying do our best.
Everybody who is right now in this session, we are all trying to be. That's why we are all here.
Oh.
And thank you for giving us this platform.
You're welcome. And thank you very much. Thank you, really. And what's that? And what's that?
Ooh,
Aydan Hocam says, am I being negative? Of course, never. You are never.
Who is negative?
No, Aydan Hocam says, no, of course not. And by the way, there's a comment here, Ferhat Hocam. Sadly, Gülsüm Hocam is not aware of Inget activities. It broke my heart because once she worked with us.
Oh my God. We talked about all the Inget activities before you joined.
Yes, we talked, Hocam. Definitely we talked. And by the way, we are really happy to have you here, Inget Aydan Hocam, as always. And by the way, it's really great to have her here, to see her here as usual.
Definitely.
Yes,
definitely.
Perfect. And you are never being negative here. You are always supportive and a positive person.
No, I think they would say that comment was someone made that comment to
which one?
I think. I don't know. I can't follow the comments when I'm talking.
I see. No. I think she misunderstands of her, I think.
Probably.
Anyway, no problem. Thank you very much, Gülsüm Hocam. And I would like to say one more time, thank you very much for accepting my invitation and being with us and giving your suggestions and advice, of course, about our questions and especially, which is the most important thing, your time. You spend your time with us here.
Yeah,
that's
thank
really
you
precious.
So much.
And you are precious for us.
It's been absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. And Gülsüm Hocam was with us and we had a really fruitful session with her in Teacher Talks 118. So we are going to be here next week on the same day and at the same time, as you know, every Monday at 9 p.m. Until the next time, and take care of yourselves and take care of yourself, Gülsüm Hocam. Have a lovely session. And when we come together again, by the way, on Friday, I'm going to be on Inget.
Yes, I know. Yes. Congratulations.
Yes, with colleagues. We are going to talk about a really important topic, working as an English teacher in private schools. How do you feel it and how it's going over there? We are going to talk about this over there. If you have time, we are waiting. We're going to be waiting for you there.
It's the perfect way to end the year, I think.
Definitely. As I said before, until the next time, take care of yourselves. And bye, everybody.
Thank you.
And bye, Gülsüm Hocam. And peace.
Bye.
Bye.